Hello, my dear ones. Coming to you from thy new little office. Yes, baby. Well, we needed the room, so I got my old little office back, which I kind of like small places like that sometimes because I don't really need all the big spaces, and I've got a major library, but they're going to work it out down there somehow. How are you? Each and every one of you, how are you? You doing good? You know, sometimes these deeper programs are rough sometimes. Up and down physically, walking backwards. If you've had a life of a lot of pain and suffering and accidents, you could have some healing crisis that relates to that. So there's a lot of ups and downs sometimes in this journey. But remember, you are not your physical body. This is just your body going through these journeys. You are not your emotions. You use them and you claim them a lot, but you're not your emotions. You're not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind those things. And those are the only bodies that you're using. Look at this. Chemotherapy found. This is a new study here. And it says, chemotherapy found to spread cancer throughout the body, warn scientists. You know what's funny? I haven't read this, so I don't know how much of this is true and what it is, but it sounds like pretty good. Researchers believe toxic chemo drugs, and this has been stated before. You have, like, really great universities out here and great research departments finding all kinds of things. Kind of like that, someone wanted to know which university in Canada found the fact that there's neurological diabetes, especially type 1s. And I couldn't remember, I've got that study somewhere, but those are the universities that should win Nobel Peace Prizes. Not presidents and people that don't do anything. People that are seriously discovering serious vital information to help even us in the natural health field go after things. Because when you think about it, that discovery just opened up a whole understanding that, one, the nervous system does literally control everything. And you have to deal with that and think about that when you're looking at your cases. And remember, I told you a case of the lady that had 4 surgeries on her knee. After the 4th surgery, she came out of surgery at type 1 and she quit menstruating, and she was 50 years old. Well, I knew immediately why, because of that research. And what made me mad is that I didn't think of it. I like to be on the cutting edge of realizing things. And this was just a great study. I can't even remember the university. There's so many of them. So there's a lot of great studies that are going on out there that are antagonistic to medical theories. And they're getting piling up more and more. And matter of fact, Science News, a great magazine showing a lot of studies. A lot of this one particular university, but several, have been trying to copy the studies that the AMA are claiming proves that chemotherapy and stuff is helping. No one can seem to copy their studies to verify their findings. So what some universities are saying now, bogus. So this is important for everyone to understand. The death rate from chemo is so high that when the truth finally gets out, I hope it shocks the human consciousness. Because it's sad. You have to understand, when you wake up to a tumor, you wake up to your cells being burnt, what is that? And it's generally in 1 or 2 spots, because that's where the weaknesses are. That's where, of course, lymph stagnation has to occur. You cannot break down tissue in any medium but an acidic medium. I mean, you could be very alkaline, but it'd be hard to get that alkaline. Acids are the side of chemistry that does the problems with us. I'm going to do a little bit of spiritual rapping a little bit with you guys, because this thing with Steve Factor's been out there. And I got a letter here from Ozzy, making different claims and stuff. And so Let's talk about it a minute. You know, if you want to maintain a high level of awareness, you will cease to have opinions. The video I did wasn't about my opinion. I had recently had a meeting with many of the individuals involved, and the evidence is overwhelming, and it is in his writing. So the evidence is overwhelming. But here's the thing. Remember, experiences in creation is to expand you and to make you stronger. And this is true for Steve. Because you have to understand the difference between personal love and divine love. Divine love is that we all love Steve. He's a lovable kind of soul. But on the personal side, you can have individuals that, you know, do some things, or allegedly does some things that might not be up and up, and that might change your opinion about them, but should never change your love about them. God loves all of its creation because it is itself. So, Ozzy, you made comments like that, and that's like untrue. You don't want to have an opinion on one side or another because that's karmatic. Whenever you have an opinion, you just lock yourself into that opinion, whether it's true or not. And I live on the side of truth. When you propose me a lot of evidence, and there's so many extremely reputable individuals involved, then you have to realize that maybe things happen that you didn't realize can happen with people. But we all are just souls having human experiences here. And everyone has the opportunity at any given moment to turn their life around and change things and make things for the better. As people chew on, this was yesterday's news. And remember, Jesus said, live as little children again. You know what that means? That means you get mad in the moment, and then the next moment you're playing and having fun again. You don't carry these things down the road. You guys are carrying this Steve factor way too far down the road. Doesn't matter. You're making it your problem. And the problem is his and those victims that were involved. And they need to work that out. Not everyone else. Because that locks those like Ozzy. Man, you locked yourself into opinions and stuff, and it's like, that's not who I am personally. You have to understand, I'm a God man. I don't come here with opinions and things like that. I am here to expand the human states of consciousness, the ability for the human state to expand themselves to higher levels. Remember, this level has never been experienced before. This level of healing. And you guys are right on the floor of it all. And you guys are here to help me to solidify and stabilize this. I've had 45 years of being threatened to go to jail, several times come after me. I mean, I've worked hard to stabilize this because the natural health field is all over the place. Everybody calls everybody some name. Everybody claims everything is wrong. And the problem is there are substances being used in the natural health field that are not recommended or gross. Generally recommended as safe. And you just can't do them, like turpentine and crap like that, stool implantations, urine therapies. There's shit like that, no pun intended, that makes the world look at us in a negative view. Well, the problem with that is that's so narcissistic on our part because we have millions of people suffering and millions being slaughtered by the theories of the allopathic community. We need to change that. And we're here to do that. But we have to do it in a stabilized manner. And this is why that when one of our teams goes off and gets out of balance, we need to correct that, or we need to at least, let that work itself out over there. Because we have a much bigger calling. This isn't about the Steve factors. This is about humans and the human race and what we're here doing with them, not only on their health, but to awaken each and every one of you to the level that you're happy with. A higher level of understanding and expressing yourself that gives you the freedom and the joy and removes the fear of unknown and uncertainty of life. When you grab a hold of truth, that's your pillars of strength. And you should always use those pillars of strength. And always speak the truth. Our field is so badly needing stabilization. And we're here to do that. That's why we run these studies. We put these studies up. We have A&P professors. We are putting the truth right down the throats of the allopathic community. And there's nowhere they can go with it because it's true. And nobody has the cojones, so to speak, to take us on. Because if we've set our people up against their people, to put an example, go into a medical doctor's offices. We'll go into any medical doctor's office and take 1,000 of their patients. And we'll show you what we could do along with what they've been doing with them, and what have they been doing with their patients, and what is their progress. Then we'll take them and we'll show them what our theory does to them. I've never had a taker, and I've asked many medical doctors, you want to blow back on me or us? Here's what we'll do. You'll take your people, and we'll take your people, and we'll show you what we can do to your people. Never had a taker. And that's because they know better. Matter of fact, there was some young lad, we just got a letter from, I think they're Belgium. And this lad is doing better and better and better and better. Young kid, young boy, doing better, I think, doing better and better and better and better and better, coming out of his problems. They didn't tell me what his problems were, but doing so much better. Even the medical doctor said everything's doing better, but I want you to stop what you're doing with him because it doesn't in line with what we're doing with him. What? See, that medical doctor isn't a true healer. A true healer would go, wow, what are you doing and why? Because the why is important when you're talking to medical doctors, because they are narcissistic individuals. They tend to be very, very intellectual. So sometimes you have to approach it from that way. But in all truthfulness, you do not have to get too intellectual with that at all. Your intellectualism comes with basic chemistry and how basic chemistry works. Acid and base, how the body works a little bit, and we've fed you that. Now some of you don't want to interact with that. You don't have to. Leave that to us. It's no problem. We are here to protect you and support you. My goal is to help each and every one of you. I would do a video with each and every one of you to help promote you. If you look at the last video I did with Steve, you will see that I'm wondering what this video is about. You know, life isn't about using people and praising people abnormally. We're here to make a difference in the health and well-being and in the awakening process of millions of beings. And that's a big deal. Having a few loose cannons or people that need to get their act, I'm not saying that Steve is, that is for those people to work out. I have no need to carry this any further in my consciousness. That's karmatic. When you're carrying thoughts, you're replacing your awareness with thoughts. And those thoughts you're carrying, and your emotional, whether you like what's going on or not like what's going on with Steve, you're carrying all that with you. So he's pulling you into his karma. You can love him and support him, but be careful about taking on the karma. Keep yourself free. Doesn't matter. You know, truth will always find its way out. And I always go on that. I never pick sides because I don't give two hoots. We have so much bigger fish to fry here, guys. You know, but it is true in this that as energy moves through us, if we're not stable in some of our bodies, that body can get out of stability. It can affect you greatly. I've seen a lot of people as they increase the current of spirit or the prana or the life force, whatever you wish to call it, consciousness itself. If you're not stable, you can become unstable, especially if you get a lot of light too fast. You become unstable because you haven't developed the understanding of what it is. And suddenly you've got energy coming out of you. You've got the light coming out of you. You've got awareness. You don't know how to deal with it and what it is, how to put it in its proper perspective. And your other bodies are just blown away. So that's why things happens kind of sequentially as you develop the initiation process, so to speak, as they used to call it. However you wish to look at that, the process, and every religion has that process, whether it's baptism or Catholics have all their processes of growth. And these are processes of development, supposedly and hopefully, of expansion of your awareness, which simply means you must back away from thought and desire. Because thought and desire keeps you playing in the fields of your dreams. And that's where you play. If you want to be awake, you have to learn how to be awake and then play. And there is a way to do it, is to be awake and let the mind and your emotions play, but you're not attached to it. And that's what you have to do with all of us. Each and every one of us are here for ourselves. Some of us are here to help others, there's no question about that. And that's what we're trying to do here, very much so. I just thought this, and I wanted to show this, because this is a good example of someone that's helping themselves and growing. Look at this beautiful soul. This is a card I got. Look at that. This is a female. Look at that beautiful thing. Developing. Yep, incredible. Blessings to you, my dear, in your growth and development and your awakening, because it isn't about knowledge, because knowledge is relative, so to speak. When you're from consciousness, when you're awake, you are in how do I describe this? You're in an awareness that all things come out of. So you don't have to have any knowledge because it's all there already. See, creation can't create or develop anything that's not already in consciousness. It's impossible. So what you see is consciousness expressing itself in individual forms. Whatever planet you're on, whatever dimension you're on, whatever spiritual city or the lack thereof. Cool stuff. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff going on. This is a beautiful card too. That beautiful. Look at that beautiful pineapple. All of you send in some beautiful, beautiful things. Beautiful things. And that's what we need to keep ourselves. The bickering over somebody, you let people run their own karma. Whatever that is. It'll work itself out. But you don't want to pull yourselves into these things because, and this even came, this was this person even did the envelope they sent us. Whoops. Well, that's our name. Good deal. Okay. But I never know when to show your names or not to show your names. I've got a lot of things here but I just got moved in here, so I'm kind of going through everything. But I wanted to sit down and talk with you about love and the joy of beingness, the joy of having individual awareness within the all of the all, knowing that you're part of the huge consciousness. You're just a individual manifestation of that. And the only way you're going to understand that is to let go of your desires and your focus, your attention. Remember, we talked a lot about your attention. We want to create some stability at this level. It's vital to have some stability. They walk all over us. And we need stability. And we need stability, and it comes from each and every one of you. Like in the video I told you, I've kept myself shaved, nice clothes. I've done everything to try to gain respect so that our modality will now solidify itself in this dimension and the negative forces can't stop it. And so we have to solidify ourselves. And you have to act above board because you have all these levels out there. Every level is looking at us. And we want to be beyond reproach. We don't be looked at as a group of people that are ripping off each other and doing things and playing these games. It's like, no. We want to be a stable, solid group of awareness and of science And this is why we back everything up. That's why I had Pat on board, to back everything up with truth. And there's nowhere you're going to go with it. This modality will have to be accepted. We have some people way up in the Trump team, and I'm hoping that we'll get away from the FDA and have our own governing body. Because it is not fair to put the naturopaths and all the natural health people under medical thinker. Totally different field. And so we've been chastised by the FDA for so long and come down on for so long that we've had our bellies full. You know, when you get your belly full, then you start doing something about it. And the problem is we've always been on the defensive side. And I'm here to tell you that I'm developing an offensive side. I've learned a lot in law through the years of being targeted by the IRS. I'm one of the ones that were targeted. And they just lost a big case over targeting people. So it's interesting. But let's keep our love between ourselves, Ozzy, and everybody. Nobody's judging. But I don't come out with anything unless you show me the facts, and it's overwhelming. But we have bigger fish to fry. We have a lot of sick people out there that need your help and my help. I'm telling you, they come in here by the groves. And they come from other countries. They don't even make appointments anymore. They come in, anybody here to help us? It's sad. Don't want to go there. It's really sad. But I need every one of you to help me. Not to fight us, to help us. Because we have a big responsibility. And you've got all kinds of spiritual beings hanging around this level. You don't get that very often. And so the blessings that this level has right now is unbelievable. The ability you have to tap into these gigantic spiritual beings is unbelievable. Your ability to expand your experiences from these little physical Peyton Place General Hospital crap, days of our lives, into gigantic experiences of worlds upon worlds, and now you're a soldier of the Great One. And that's what each and every one of you are kind of doing here. You're playing your worlds, but a lot of you are waking up going, yes, I am a healer, I am a soldier, I am a warrior. And especially you ladies. You ladies need to come out and become warrior women. The men need it here. They need to get their butts kicked a little bit by the females from a spiritual viewpoint, because this is where the love, this is where the oneness can be brought out in the feminine principle. And the energy that they have is intoxicating. But it is for all life to elevate themselves. And the feminine principle must elevate itself. It's been trapped by the male principle. So now it must free itself and become the power that it is. And an incredible power that it is, guys. Hard to live without the feminine principle. Getting a bunch of men together is not exactly a fun thing to do. And nor is it with the ladies. The balance. The yin and the yang. Well, I don't know if I wanted to start reading anything because I don't have a lot of time here. And I really just kind of wanted to talk with you a little bit more about life and how that humility. I've worked on humility for most of my life. And when you have your sukha, you have your experiences, and you're awakening, that builds humility. Some people, it can build a little narcissism, no question about it. But then I warn against that because the butt kicking can happen. And it is coming from the Great One. I mean, it keeps itself in check. So all this that's going on that you see in the elitist levels, the World Bank and the AMA and all this, oh no, I don't want, you don't want any part of what's coming to that. right? Because it isn't just, things just don't go one direction. Oh, no, no, no. You've got positive and negative. You got yin and yang. Things go so far, and then it corrects itself. And you see that everywhere. It'll eliminate a whole species to correct itself. It's just the way it works. It's always correcting itself, realigning itself. And so you really want to be on the side of the love and of awareness and of giving and of humility, because why would you think you're better than anybody? Or why would you think you're less than anybody? Because there's so many of you that think you're less than others. No, no, no. And some people think because people are smarter, they're better. That's the joke. The joke is that sometimes the smarter, the more academic you get, the stupider you get, because you're lost in other people's thoughts and ideas, and you've lost your way. And now you ostracize yourself from others by your ego. No. Just because someone is a medical doctor, or someone is a naturopath, or someone is a NASA engineer, that's the fun of it. You can be anything you want. You can play any game you want in creation. One isn't better than the other. It's just different. We put likes and dislikes on things. Oh, I like that, I don't like that. But that's creation, and that limits your experience. You can't limit your experience with anyone, including anyone that might be doing things that are not on the up and up. And for those that are victims of these sort of problems in the world out there, this is for you to become stronger. Your life experiences is to strengthen you, not tear you apart. It can tear you apart, but in the final analysis, you, as your awareness, cannot be hurt or destroyed. You cannot destroy consciousness. You can only destroy the bodies. And you can always get other ones. Their bodies are a dime a dozen. And they're all over the place, and they're not all human. You have to expand your awareness and realize this is only one little planet, one little dimension. Not all species are humanoids. So you got to realize that. It's just, there's a lot out there. Fun stuff, and incredible stuff, and scary stuff. And real, real bad stuff. It's as beautiful as you can see and imagine life. It can go the other way just as equally as bad. And it's one of the things, this is why strength and awareness is your savior and your protector in this. You know, a lot of people rely on others. There's a lot of individuals that become channelers to other ascended beings and things. Definitely wouldn't recommend any of that. You know, when you open yourself up, other beings can come in and sit down with you, and without you even knowing it. So it's enough to say that become strong within yourself. Each and every one of you, in a married situation, in a personal relationship of whatever, whether it's loved ones or children, you're each still individuals. And you must maintain that individuality to enjoy each other. If you absorb or let yourself become attached to each other, use each other for your lack of emotional strength, that's when you bond karmatically. And that's when it rips and tears and you're full of fear and all of this sort of thing. You can't go there and survive. And if you're spiritual and you go there, it'll pull you back down. And you can't let that happen. That's the problem with that. You have to learn how to always be awake and then play with that and have fun. Because in the final analysis, these experiences are all over the place. You can experience anything you want. You are in complete control of that. You're in complete control of your consciousness or not. So if you're not in control of your awareness, who is? Your mind. But who's in control of your mind? Well, governments and our religions and our loved ones and everybody else generally controls your mind more than you do. How about your emotions? Same thing. And what are you doing with your physical body? It is just, everything culminates in the physical body. It's just a sensory food processor. Your physical body processes complex chemistry into simple chemistry. All your body's doing is digesting, absorbing, utilizing, and eliminating. With the five senses, you're perceiving the action of this world and interaction of this world, but very limited. When you get into your mental bodies and even the astral body, your abilities skyrocket. You can move around without a vehicle. I mean, like a car or something. In the middle worlds, this is why there is a certain maturity that you're going through right now. And each and every one of you, not only in the health side. See, on this health side, this has kind of been my secret plan, is to come in the back door, because I've taught classes of spirituality, bilocation, out-of-body travels, in other words, for 50 years. And sometimes it's difficult for humans to be faced with things because they've locked religion around them so much, and religions have instilled so much fear to control the person, that when a person starts to take flight and their wings start to develop, they have a little fear. And that's why we're here to tell them, don't have fear. Enjoy the vastness of who you are, who you really are. Not in the physical form. You need a car to go around in that form. Your mind can move that quick by thought. You can move your attention literally the snap of a finger with your mind. Physical body takes a little while to move it. The mind already has you down there eating lunch at a restaurant. Now you got to get your body, you got to get it in the car, you got to drive down, you got to walk in, you got to sit down and order up. You're already there mentally. And you're probably already there emotionally. What do I want? But your physical body's coming. It's coming. But that's how creation works. Every level, but that's why you're developing here. So you can take responsibility at these higher levels and become the master of your own world and destiny. You are now, you just don't realize it. And others are bumping with you and controlling you and working your worlds. How can you have total joy and a sense of freedom when others are controlling your happiness? You can't. You have to control your own happiness. You don't want to ever make someone your source of joy and happiness. They should be in a personal relationship. But from a higher level, you can't let anyone bring you down and tear you apart, because you'll lose your individuality. You'll lose who you are. For what reason? Emotional insecurities, a lack of emotional strength, that sort of thing. And that's the next step for most humans, is to become emotionally strong. We've got a lot of work here on all these levels, if you notice. The mental bodies are out of balance here. Narcissism rules so much here. Academics control and makes people think if you don't have an academic a degree of some sort, you're nothing. Kind of like this statement this guy made, that most of the people that go in the military are kickbacks from school, or people that can't pass high school or stuff. And it's like, what? I mean, people out there have these bizarre friggin' ideas and are voicing them. And this is a high school teacher. Of course, they want him to resign now, of course. But imagine his level of awareness to say something like that. To the insult, the military, which I was a part of. It's like, no, I don't think so. But that's the sort of thing. These people live in security, but then they tear down the very people that the reason we have security in the physical world. This is a warring universe, guys. This is a warring planet. And a lot of people feel comfortable because we have cops and we have all this military and stuff, but those that get a little out of line forget that. This isn't a place where everything is all peachy keen. There's people that want to kill you, not love you. But you want to be from the love side, because those that want to kill you have to wake up, or they're on a long journey of karma that individual will never be happy, never find joy, and will be locked in horror for lifetimes. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. What other people do, other people do. And you cannot stop or control that. I mean, there are some things you can, of course. But as a rule, you can only control and work yourself. And what people see of you, they judge you. So if they see a divine one that's giving love and helping others, that clicks in them. That's how that makes a difference. So I decided that people can't awaken so much when you're talking to them this way. So I come the back door, because when you give people fruits and berries and melons, you guys have noticed this, everything goes up, energy goes up, because you're consuming consciousness, high levels of consciousness, which is pulling yourself up out of these lower levels of thought, and so because you're consuming high levels of consciousness. And it brings you, notice how a fruit level brings peace to your beingness. It brings awareness. It stops the chattering and the hyper and hypo activities of the body. It brings you into a peacefulness, a sense of energy that you can't describe, but it's not a hyper energy. It's a power energy. It's a strength energy. And it's that you want to take on and show your divinity to the world, your love, your ability to hook others to the source. But you first have to be awake to the source yourself. Stop thinking, stop planning, stop desiring, at least part of the time, and learn how to live in the present moment of observation and awareness. When you do that, you'll be used to using your mind. Send your mind on a journey and just be here to listen when it brings you the answer. Don't go chasing your mind with your awareness. And the same thing emotionally. Learn to pull yourself back in a state of freedom where no one can hurt you here. The bodies are out here. And they're enjoying their lives or not. And we're trying to help that by showing you what causes pain and suffering. What's on the negative side. How do they have a hold of you? And on this planet they have a hold of people on their diets. The very food sources that are supposed to make you healthy and maintain the physical body is breaking it down. So it is a huge pile of unawareness. And we're here to bring the awareness of truth, of not only the type of species your bodies are and all of that kind of stuff, but that's just a little bitty physical body and all of that. Look at who you really are. You're an unlimited being, and you will have that potential when you learn how to develop yourself and let go of these things. Develop humility towards others. Respect others. If they rip people off, they do things, that's what they do. And they have to pay the price of that. You always want to be free from that. And always teach others to be above board, to love others, to conduct yourself in a manner of karmic understanding. That you don't hurt others or take advantage or do to others, because it'll come right back on you. You can't escape it. You might not see it today, you might not see it tomorrow, but it'll be there. Even the masters don't escape this. They'll tell you that. So have fun in your journey here. Don't get tied up in what people do and things like this. Don't carry your opinions in front of the world, and especially in front of all of us, because we're here just to make you healthy and happy and connect you back to who you really are. But we want people in our group that become out of balance, we want to put our arm around them and say, you got to do something about this, because you can't keep going down this road, whoever it is. Because we want to be the stable ones. We want to be the source that people come to us and look up to us, because we sit on the pillars of truth. Sounds funky, but it ain't. It is the way you conduct your life and the respect you have for others on their journeys. You might not like their journeys, okay, but you understand who they are and that they're lost in these journeys. You have to understand that all these people are lost at different levels, as we are. You know, we all are not awake to some of the tremendous levels. You can always grow. And that's speaking right here. This is tremendous. Unbelievable. Exciting. Fun. Not your days of our lives. Freedom. Awareness. To see and know things that you never dreamed of before. Because you were too busy thinking and playing in your little world of days of our lives. You can do that and have fun, no problem. But you must realize who you are that's playing the play. And each and every one of you are an extremely powerful, individualized beings. Never lose sight of that. And each of you have the ability to hurt others, but you also have the ability to help others. And that's what I highly recommend.
Yeah, baby.
It brings you good stuff. But it helps the whole universe to expand and to grow in a more etheric and happy way. Because remember, what you feed into creation, you're feeding into all of life. When you throw a pebble in the ocean, or you throw a bucket of water in the ocean, let's say you pour a bucket of water in the ocean. Do you affect the whole ocean, or do you just affect where you poured the water? You affect the whole ocean. Law of homeostasis. So if we want to uplift the world, we ourselves must act accordingly and uplift ourselves. You can't uplift anyone else. That's up to them to do that. You want to pull back and don't care about others. Even your mate, you'll have a much better experience if you are conscious and you don't lose yourself in the experience. And that brings you a greater experience, because if you're free, your joy and ecstasy skyrockets. And when that happens, and you have another individual that's involved, it can skyrocket with them as well. That is a true spiritual relationship. And those are fun. The universe doesn't always keep you in those, unfortunately, because you're off and running. Your job is to continue to grow, grow, grow. And sometimes they just let you touch it, taste it, and then off you go. But it's for you to taste and to enjoy, and then to conduct yourself with the newfound awareness that you have found. And keep increasing your ability to be free, to have fun, to help others. There's nothing like that. We sit here and we fight between ourselves because someone might have done something bad. That's not good. That's not spiritual. You know, we do not judge others. But I am the ramrod of this. It is on me. You guys don't have to pay the price. I do. So when I see a lot of evidence and I see a lot of great souls being affected, I'm going to say something. And you can count on it. Advice of my attorney or not. Because I'm responsible for this energy. I'm responsible for this. You guys don't have to pay the price. It'll come kick my butt. And I've had enough butt kicking. I don't want that anymore. So we have a great group. A great group. You guys are getting your remedies in your health. Some of you are struggling to get it. Keep going. Get it. Grab the power of life and work yourself through these. Know what you're doing. Why are you detoxing for? What are you after? Know what you're doing so you can explain it to others. Oh, look, she got well on it. I'm just going to do what she did. Know why she did that. Know why you're doing the things that you do so you can explain it to others. And if anything, I hope we made this so simplistic that it's easy to say your sewer system's backed up. Most people understand sewage Because sometime in your lives you get a whiff of it. But I love you guys. And happy Valentine's Day to each and every one of you. A big heart. And that's to all of you, including Steve Factor. A big Valentine's heart to all of you guys. Give love to each and every one of you. And, experiences help to strengthen us. And just realize that. Don't carry your experiences. Victims of crimes and things like this, don't carry that. Because you can be locked in these, and that means the person that perpetrated the issue won. No. Become strong within yourselves, and remember that each experience that you have is for you to either take it, look at it, take what you need out of that experience to expand yourself, to make yourself strong and non-judgmental and things, and that you don't hurt anybody. And that what you give is pure love and joy. Because it'll come back to you that way. Remember, cause and effect. What you put out comes back. You put out anger and opinions and negativity, bam! Don't do that. Doesn't matter. Who cares what that other person is? If you're a victim of that, then you learn how to control yourself and learn how not to be a victim in the joy and the ecstasy of God. Because you go back to Jesus. What did he say about the marketplace? This planet is the marketplace. A lot of people didn't understood what he meant. It wasn't just a marketplace. The whole consciousness is what he was talking about. The using of others, the buying and selling. This infiltrates all levels of the human consciousness. The marketplace. So you have to free yourself from the marketplace, including others. And teach others to be free as well. So you're roaming this world from a humble, expanded, high level of awareness of God. And the energy you give out will uplift even the plants and the animals, the trees. Everything gets uplifted when you uplift yourself. Hey, love you guys. A whole bunch. And you guys keep going down the road. We're a team. If one of our team members gets out of balance, we'll take care of it. But don't let yourself get out of balance. No opinions. Just live in the present moment. Let those energies work themselves out as they have. Doesn't mean you love or not love anybody. That's up to you. Your individual love is up to you. I love everything and everybody because I see everything and everybody as God expressing itself. Sometimes it gets lost. Sometimes it does things it doesn't understand because it's lost. It's like each and every one of us are lost at a certain level. So let's help each other find ourselves, and also to eat good and to develop a sense of wellness in all our bodies. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart and the big heart. Well, since it's Valentine's Day, but before I really sign off here, we got someone to say hi.
Happy
Valentine's!
Woo! Everybody needs to spread love today.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
Valentine's isn't about just being married or in a relationship. It's about spreading love. So everyone out there, everyone, single.
Wait a minute. I thought it was about chocolate. I mean, if you're in Belgium, you got Belgium chocolate. Yeah. You're in Sweden, you got the Swedish.
Well, I'm just going to have to tell you, if I ever do make it to Sweden, Swiss Alps, wherever that is, Belgium.
These people.
I'm probably going to have to go off the detox just a little bit. the straight and narrow.
Exactly.
So, but happy Valentine's, everyone. No matter where you're at, much love to you.
Much love to you too, guys.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Amazing. Take a look. That's our dear athlete. Amazing. Look at this. She painted this.
That is beautiful.
Remember her at the class in her
That's
video?
who I was with last week.
Exactly. Look at that. Is she not something else? This is a major being right here. I love her to death.
Danielle, she's absolutely beautiful.
Sweetheart.